Well, hello and welcome to another one of my vlogs. Thanks ever so much for joining us today. I have Milo here with me once again, enjoying the sunshine. But I have to tell you that if we were here less than 1 hour ago, it was tipping down with rain. Some of you that are watching this video will know that I grew up on a family farm. And one of the men that I worked alongside as a young man was a man who had a saying for just about every week of the year, certainly at least for every month of the year. They were mostly sayings that related to farming or to the weather around us. There was one of the sayings that he would make mention particularly of this time of the year, which was about the month of March, and he would say, if March comes in like a lamb, it will go out like a lion, or if it comes in like a lion, it will go out like a lamb. And by that he meant that the month would begin either with good weather or with bad weather, and it would end the opposite. He'd also come out with stuff like, cast not a cloud until May is out. And there's a measure of controversy about this statement. Some say it relates to the month of May and would say that, you know, don't take your coat off or your cloak off until May is out, because you might get a cold or a chill, or to bring it up to date, you know, don't take your vest off until May is out. And others feel it's to do with the hedgerow, the May, and when that begins to blossom, well, that's okay. That's then safe for you to take your coat off or your cloak off. I guess pretty much they're similar, really, in essence. Just make sure that the weather is warm enough before you take your coat off. There would be lots and lots of different sayings that he would come out with, and they were really funny, some of them. Another one would be about the trees around us. By the way, how gorgeous is this? Yeah, he'd talk about the difference between the oak tree and the ash tree, and he would say when the trees begin to bud and push out their leaves, he would say that if the oak came out before the ash, you would be sure to be in with a splash of rain. But if the ash came out before the oak, you'd be sure to get a soak. Well, for me, the answer was, you're still going to get wet. Not much difference really, a splash or a soak, but yeah, I guess you prefer the splash to the soak. So look out for that one, for in a few weeks' time, the oak or the ash will begin to reveal their leaves to you. And then of course there's a favourite that probably most people in the world will have heard of, and that is red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning, red sky at night, shepherd's delight. And this is a meteorological fact that if there is a red sky in the morning, it normally means that you're going to get rain pretty much soon after. A red sky at night is a good indicator, a very solid indicator that the next day is going to be a dry and a sunny day. It may not be overly warm, but it will be dry and it will be sunny. But one of the sayings that he used to make mention to me, I made really good use of this morning, because last night when I went to bed, I had every intention first thing this morning, by the way it's about 11:30 right now in the morning, he used to say, if it rains before 7, that is in the morning, it will be left off before 11. If it rains before 7, it's going to be left off by 11. So last night I went to bed with the sole intention, look at this lichen here, it's a really good indicator that the air quality is very good in this area. You would often see this up in the Highlands in Scotland and in lakes up in Cumbria and other parts of the nation. That's a really good indicator that the air quality is excellent here where I live. And I went to bed and I thought, I'll get up in the morning first thing after reading my Bible, having my breakfast, having time of prayer, is to come out into the fields with Milo and have a walk. And as soon as I opened my eyes this morning and looked out of the window, it was raining, and there was rain still falling very, very hard. And I thought, oh, that's a shame. I was really looking forward to going out, but it was before 7. And I remembered his saying, rain before 7, left off before 11. And looky here. It was right. It's not always right, but it very often is. Invariably, that statement is true. If it's kind of rain through the night, rain before 7, and by the time we get to 11 o'clock during the day, it's gone. And that's been proven true today. Well, in the life of the Lord Jesus Christ in the first century, there were religious leaders that came to him to question him. They did this quite often. And on this occasion, the story is found in Mathew chapter 16 of the Bible. They come to the Lord Jesus and they're demanding from him a sign to prove that he is who he claims to be, and to prove his authority. They didn't like his authority. It's quite interesting that people in positions of responsibility or authority often become very unnerved by someone coming into their life who has real authority. They don't like that. They almost tremble in that man or that woman's presence. And this was definitely the case with Jesus and the religious leaders of his day. So on this occasion, they come and they ask of him, give us a sign to prove who you are, or give us a sign to show that you have authority. And Jesus said to them, why are you asking for a sign from me? Even you know the saying, red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning, red sky at night, shepherd's delight. So isn't that remarkable that a statement that we use today was being used 2,000 years ago? Incredible, isn't it? And it's in the Bible in Matthew chapter 16. And Jesus knew of this statement. Jesus knew of this saying that people would make mention of. He would have heard this as a boy growing up as a carpenter's son. He would have known this as he lived out his life. He probably would have heard this saying at least once a month, or maybe even more, like many of us will have heard ourselves and even used ourselves. So basically what Jesus says to them, look, you know what the weather's going to do, and you understand that, but you don't understand who I am. And I just wonder, as I speak to you today, you just really don't get Jesus. You understand a lot of life. You understand what's going to happen if the sky's red in the morning or red at night, what's going to happen with the weather to follow, but you don't fully understand who Jesus is. So Jesus really didn't answer them at this point and just said, look, you know this about life, but you don't understand who I am. And you really need to understand who I am. That's really, really important. So if you're watching today and you don't really know who Jesus is, can I invite you to look at a link at the bottom of this video, and on that link you'll find a link to 2 different churches actually. Hope Church in Ipswich, and the other link is to Hadley Baptist in both in Suffolk. And on that link you'll go to their website eventually if you want to, and you have an opportunity to sign up to a course called Alpha, and in that course you will discover and find out who Jesus is. So please do that. Or if you're not local to this area, wherever you live, even anywhere in the world, search Alpha course or search Christianity Explored course, and you will find one that will be running near to you, hopefully within a few minutes from you. And I would ask and invite you to sign up to that, because Jesus is worth finding out more about. Maybe you've been disturbed by some of the things that have been attributed to Jesus. Maybe some of the things that he said you're a little bit unsure about. Maybe they've been very challenging to you and you need to find your questions being answered. Well, hopefully by going on this course you'll definitely find some of those answers being answered, but it might just be that you need to take the courage and sign up. So from Milo and myself, thanks ever so much for watching again today. I hope that you tune back in shortly to the channel, but just remember this: Jesus is worth exploring. You might know a lot about life, but do you know everything that you need to know about Jesus Christ, who said, I have come into this world that you and me might have life, and that we might have it to the full. I think that's worth exploring, don't you? So please do that. You all take care. Thank you so much for joining me on this day out in the countryside, and I look forward to speaking to you all very soon. Take care.